It says we're live on my end.
And we are live.
All right. Nice
Hey
job.
guy, Dane here at ZIMM'S Guitars in Mesa, Arizona. And I got a treat for you guys today. I got my good friend BrianS is in the house today. Brian, how you doing,
Hello,
buddy?
everybody. Thanks for having me on, bud. It's been a while since we've been hooked up. I think we did something like this maybe about a year or so ago. Maybe it's been 2 years. You were in the old shop before when we did it the last time. We had a little chat. How long have you been at your new shop?
Yeah, I got a new shop now. I moved over here again April of 2 years ago, so April of 21, I guess that would be.
Okay.
Moved
Gotcha.
in my new shop. And so I just thought, it's been a while since we talked. So I reached out, got a hold of Brian and said, hey, what about a live stream? And he's like, well, how about Wednesday? I said, no, that don't work. What about Tuesday? No, that's bad too. What about a week from Thursday? Hey, we're on to something. A week from
There we
Thursday,
go.
here we are. So
We just had to narrow it down. Hey, what's up, Paul and DJ? How you guys doing? I know Paul. Paul's down here in my area. He's a Florida boy. He's enjoying the sunshine.
nice.
So, is it getting hot for you guys yet? Is your temperature started to
No,
climb?
it's only about it's in the high 70s today, so it's really nice. We've had a couple of 2 or 3 days where it's been really nice. There's Mega Todd in the chat. Hey man, how are you?
What's going on, Megatod and Christopher? How you doing? Thanks for joining us today. So, since you've been in your new shop, your YouTube channel has went crazy. Is your business gone crazy too? I've
It's
noticed your
done pretty
YouTube
darn
channel's
good,
really
man.
taken off.
Rocking is my business, and business
Yeah,
is good.
there you
So,
go.
no,
That's all
it's been
right.
good, man. I'm in a good spot, and my rent's a lot of money, but it may, I got a lot of people coming in, and I am actually open for business right now. Um, so we could get some people. Luckily, it's kind of quiet right at this minute. My son is
Well,
back in the office doing editing. So
oh,
again,
cool.
my channel is doing good, and it's basically based on my son doing all that video editing because there's no way I could pull that off. The only thing I could possibly do are maybe little, you know, shorts, right,
Right.
on my cell
Yeah.
phone. I'm not even good at that, or these live streams.
Right.
And so once a live stream is up, it's not like you keep getting return visitors to it. You might get
Very few.
you might get
We
a
we
hundred
discovered
people watch
that.
it, and then yeah, you get 100 people to watch it, and then it's long gone.
Yeah, we discovered that on our Live Wires live show that I did with your buddy Dave, who lives down there, not too far from you, and
Dave,
our other
nice.
pal up in
Yeah.
Canada,
So
Guitar
your old
Hacks.
channel. Is
So,
there going to
but yeah,
be
we would get
anything? You guys going to revive that anytime soon?
we did a reunion show like I don't know 3 or 4 months ago. We might do another one on the Livewires channel. We're all I'm the least busy of the three of us, and as you know, our buddy
Right.
Dave's got a new job that takes him on the road occasionally. He's super busy right now, and
Oh, he works
our
for
other pal
the
Guitar Hack is a
car, the
teacher.
automotive. What do you call the auction? The big auction.
Yeah. We just hooked up
It's the hot rod.
actually last month. They were the Barrett Jackson thing is where he works at now, and
That's
they're the
right, Barrett
headquarters down there where
Jackson.
you guys are at. Yeah, and they were over here
Right.
in West Palm Beach, Florida in April, and he hooked me up on some free tickets, and I drove over there and we hung out for the weekend. So that was great. He was working, but I hung out. Then we hung out after the show in the evening some. So we had a good time. It was all right, and a lot of a lot of really
Right.
cool cars, man. I mean, they're selling cars in there for way more than I've ever spent on a house. I
I
don't
know.
know where
Isn't
these
that
people get all this
amazing? The
money.
price of cars now. But I guess you could you
Crazy.
could you can say it's the same with the guitar market. I mean, if you find a 59, right? It's a
Oh
half a
yeah.
million dollars, or Eddie Van
Yeah, and that's
Halen's 5150 went for $4 million or something
it's
like
even
that.
worse when you think about that because in reality a guitar's just some wood and some really low amplification microphones and some little simple like potentiometers are like the most simplest thing ever. I mean, compared to
Right.
like a Lamborghini, which has all these mechanical parts and turbochargers and all this other stuff on it. So yeah, it's even worse when you start talking vintage guitar prices, and they're never coming down either. I think they just keep always going up, right?
But now you could talk about, some guitars were played by these famous artists, but cars, just kind of cars, unless you actually have the Smokey and the Bandit car that,
Right.
or you
Or
actually have
something
the
that Carol
movie car or
Shelby built
something
or
like
something
that,
like that.
or you
Yeah.
have OJ's Blazer, something like
Right.
that.
I wonder who has OJ's Blazer. I wonder whatever happened to that thing. The young
Well, you
kids
know what?
here
There
in
was an
the
episode of
chat won't know
Pawn
what we're talking
Stars.
about.
There was an episode of Pawn Stars where OJ's
Oh
Blazer showed up.
yeah. I think I remember
Uh,
seeing that one.
so it's still around, but people are kind of creeped out by it,
Yeah, that's not the kind of
I think.
vehicle I'd want to own. Blazers are cool though, but yeah, if you bought a white Blazer,
I know, huh?
I don't know. That's a little bit weird. Hey man, is
So
that a
you're saying
George
you're,
Lynch back
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Sweet. That's pretty
So you're
nice.
saying you're down to 4 guitars now.
Yeah, you can see all four of them right there. I just did some
Yeah, you got
trading
an
in some
SG.
collection narrowing. I traded a pink Pro 2 Telecaster for that SG back there. So that's the newest guitar that I have. It's a
Sounds like a
22 also.
good trade.
Yeah, it's a SG standard for a Telecaster Pro 2. We just traded straight up. Each guitar's about a year old, and it was a local guy that I found on Facebook Marketplace. I was trying to sell the Tele, and he was like, "Hey man, you want to trade?" And I actually was going to use the money from the Tele sale to buy a SG. So I was like, "Well, this is easier. let's have a look at her and see." And I had to do some setup on it. He had the pickup so close to the strings, a bridge pickup, that it didn't sound very good. And I wonder if that's one reason he wanted to trade it. So I just lowered the pickup down to where it should have been, and now it sounds great. So I got
And
that,
then it
and
looks
I
like you
have.
got a Jaguar back there, a red Jaguar.
Yeah, that's actually a Fano. So that's from
Oh,
down in your
okay.
neck of the woods. I'll get it. I really like this guitar because it's so thin and got the comfort cut. It's really lightweight, and it's got a weird configuration with a P90 in the bridge and a humbucker in the neck. And I'm always on that P90. It's a Lawler P90. And this guitar weighs like
Okay.
nothing. It's a relic
Okay.
guitar. So the Fanos, yeah, I guess you can't
So
really see it,
Fano
but it's got.
guitar is when you say it's my neck of the woods, they're made in Arizona somewhere?
Yeah, they're right down there. I believe they're in. They might even be in the Phoenix area. So Fano is the guy that currently does Novo. Dennis, I think his first name's Dennis. I have to look that up. I think it's Dennis Fano, and this was his original guitar company, and he sold it to the employees, so they got to keep the name, and then he opened Novo, which is out of Nashville now. I believe that's right.
Oh, cool.
So I really like that. I play that guitar a lot because I really like. It sounds fantastic, and it's got a great neck on it. It's all broken
And
in
then
and
it looks like
everything.
you have a Les Paul. Looks like you have a
Yeah,
Les Paul there
it's still
then.
got the sticker on it. This is one of the current standards, except they don't come in cherry. And this was a Sweetwater exclusive 60s in cherry sunburst, which is what I was after. To get a cherry, you got to buy the 50s right now. You get like a iced
Okay.
tea or something, which is more of a tobacco burst. So yeah, I actually sold two custom shop. I sold a Les Paul Custom and a Geo, which is a Guitar Center 1960 reissue, what would be called a RO. And during the height of all the
Uh-huh.
selling frenzy on Reverb during COVID and all that. So I was
Yeah.
looking to kind of downsize a little bit. And with some of that money, I went crazy and bought this thing. This is Phil's fault. Our buddy Phil has a. This is a Nags.
Oh yeah, McKnight.
Yeah, he got his, and then I was like, oh man, this thing is so light. I mean, for the chunk of wood, it's mahogany. So this is basically Joe Nags's Les Paul. This is called the Kenai. They're all named after rivers that have Native American names. This is a river in Alaska.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I remember hearing that.
Yeah, and it's the TS. I don't know what the T. This is an Eric Stakel signature model. You familiar with him? He's a blues player. He's got so this it has his pickup set in it, and they're I think they're actually Seymour Duncan pickups that are called Candy, and they're from a real 1960 Les Paul, and they took the PAFs out of it and cloned them, and then made him put them in a Nags guitar. So, yeah, this guitar is probably the fanciest thing I've ever owned. As far as it's got purfling, so it's got like binding.
Right.
You can't feel it. I mean,
yeah,
and then it's got the natural binding on the edges.
And what's the retail on something like that?
I got a pretty good deal because I got. You ever heard of G-Brat's Guitar Shop? He's on Reverb. He's got a pretty good shop. He's a Nags dealer, and when things kind of cooled off on Reverb, he had listed a lot of his brand new guitars as mint used, so he could lower the price below the map or whatever they call it, and so that's how I got that. And I kind of went around the Reverb. I just called his shop on the phone and made a deal with him on the phone.
Oh,
seems to be the way to do it, right?
Yeah, local pickup only kind of thing.
Well, he shipped it to me still, but he didn't have to pay all the Reverb fees associated with selling it on Reverb, so he was able to cut me a little bit better price even. So that's how I kind of been doing things since Reverb raised all their fees. I'll use it as the one ads. I used to be a DJ. I was in Texas. For a while. I'm in Florida now.
So Phil McKnight persuaded you to buy that Nags. Now you also have another guitar on the way.
By osmosis.
Kind of Phil sort of persuaded you a little bit.
Yeah, I've got number 29. I'm waiting on number 29 to show up. The Badlands GX1, which you've had your hands on. You've already touched it.
Yeah.
So is it good? Did you like it? No, I know you liked it. I watched the video.
Right. Phil brought in his prototype, and he actually left it here over the weekend, and I did a video on it. And he gave me, he sat here for like 4 hours. Blah, and this is that, and this thing does this, and all this, and we wanted to do this because of that reason. And I'm trying to take it all in. Okay, man. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, Phil, in one video, I could blow this whole thing for you guys. And he goes, I don't care what you say. Just have a good video. No. Just make a good video and have fun with it.
They had them all. This is the latest video or photo they put on their Instagram, if you want to share that. So they're getting close. They're getting close. So there's the bodies are being painted. They're all hand painted. So the stripes may not all be exactly the same on each one, which is also kind of cool. So it won't be long now. I'm hoping maybe within the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, there's a run. Yeah, they were going to make 50 of them, and they sold out after like 2 days or something. And you got number 26 coming, right? That's what
they sold out in under 72 hours, and I waited a day. I was like, oh man, I want that. I was like, how can I make that happen? I was like, okay, what do I got to sell to break even on this deal? And the next morning I got up. I was like, I can't take it. I got to have one. So I ordered it. I was number 29 out of 50.
Of stuff. Yeah, Phil told me all kinds of stuff I'm not allowed to say, but
hey,
I've seen the next model that's coming out. Quentin.
Oh, you know what it is. Well, you're sworn to secrecy. I don't even know what the next one is.
I am, man.
Yeah,
I know
you
what
can't
the next
give that
one.
out.
I know it's like the next 3, and
wow.
Oh my God, they're so cool.
I know. Yeah, they're all gonna be cool. The problem is I'm gonna want all of them.
I know.
It's going to be a problem,
I
right?
know it.
Because I like
I know
80s
it.
guitars. In fact, that's kind of, I sold a guitar that I had made in Russia. It was a Truman. The brand was Truman. And it was a Mick Mars replica Strat, a white, Olympic white Strat, all relic with the tortoiseshell pick guard, a HSH setup with a
I've
real
heard of
German
Truman
Floyd.
guitars.
Yep,
Uh-huh.
and I sold
I've heard
that.
of
Well,
Truman.
they're hurting right now because they can't do any business outside of Russia because of the stupid war that their government has them in. So those guys are, I don't know if they're going to survive that or not. I sold that, and I had one of those Kramer, the SM1H, the single pickup Kramer with the pointy headstock that's new to the market. So I sold both
Okay.
of those. So
So now Gibson has new CEO.
yeah, Cesar
And
took
what
over.
are your thoughts on that? Eric, what's up, buddy?
Well, I know a little bit about Curley, that was the JC, that was the CEO before. He was the CEO at Levi's and
Yes.
Jeans, and he took that
Yeah.
job when they were kind of low in the market. They had a company low, and his thing is he likes to use the heritage of companies to rebuild them, and that's he
Uh,
used the heritage of Levi's to rebuild like Levi's. So they went back to like you would see commercials like 49ers panning for gold in their Levi's jeans, right? Because
yeah.
that's how far back they go. And
Right.
I think he's done this same thing with Gibson. You know, they kind of, let's focus our USA products onto these standard models that are a 50s or a 60s, a heritage type guitar, and I think he's done what he wanted to do there. So I don't think it was Gibson saying we want to move you out and put somebody else in. I think it was him saying I'm ready for a new challenge, because you had to remember Levi's is like a $5 billion a year company, and Gibson's like a $900 million a year company. So he probably took a big pay cut to be the CEO of Gibson. I would
Well, the
imagine.
way that I heard, well, the story that I kind of heard, and I'm kind of going with it, is when he was with Levi's, he was able to hire the right lawyers, put together a lot of lawsuits for copyright
Yeah, they did.
infringements.
That's
People are
right. That's part of
people
that.
are
That's part of
infringing
the
on
heritage
Levi's
thing.
copyrights. Okay,
Right,
so
right,
now
right.
they bring him in to Gibson 5 years
He did the
ago,
same thing.
and suddenly now Gibson's suing everybody, Dean
Yeah.
guitars, all these guitars.
Right.
I think
Well,
that
that's
period
part
of
of that
Gibson suing,
heritage box,
that's
right?
right.
They want their heritage.
I think Gibson is out of the business of suing everybody now, hopefully, and the new guy's just going to come in and they're going to put the lawyers behind them and they're going to leave people alone and they're just going to start building good guitars and focus on that. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that
I
they're
think
going to just
that.
stop suing people.
Oh, they need to stop
That
doing
drives
that.
me
I mean,
crazy.
well, see, the problem is they have the right to protect their legacy, but they waited 50 years too long to do it. They should have sued company the first time somebody came out with an Explorer body. That's when you sue them that week. You don't wait 50 years and then start suing them, which is what's happened, right? So Gibson let all these other companies do it for years and years and years, and there were some lawsuit guitars. You know about the Japanese Les Paul copies from back in the
Ibanez.
70s and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Ibanez
and
and
other.
stuff.
Sure.
Right.
So it's not the first time that it's happened, but it's been too much. They need to lay off of it. But you know what? They still can't make them fast enough. They're still selling them like hotcakes. So,
Yeah, it's true.
and I do think they did. I think
And
he had something
their
to do with
traditional
upping the
guitar,
quality.
every time they try something new to be new and innovative, it sort of backfires on them. So all they
They
can
get
do is keep
slammed.
building the same guitars as nice
Yeah.
and pretty and shiny as possible.
I think
And
they've
so
gone back to getting a little bit better quality on the USA models too, because this one I've got appears flawless. I don't have any QC issues with it at all. All I had to do to make me happy was lower the action a little bit and take a little relief out of the truss rod, and it was ready to rock. So I was great. I was very happy with it. Of course, now I did buy it from Sweetwater, so you always got to preface it because they've taken the box out of the guitar. They've taken the guitar out of the box and been over it. You got a customer, Dane? Go ahead and do what you got to do.
That's okay. I'm back.
Okay, make some money if you can. So, won't you show me? You show and tell now. Why don't you grab that George Lynch back there? Let me see that thing close.
Okay.
What else you got back there? Point. I like pointy headstock guitars.
I got a lot of stuff. I keep
I
a
know,
lot of my
man.
really good ones in cases, but this is the LTD
Yeah, that's all right.
version, made in Indonesia.
Right.
Kind of nice. I think I did a YouTube video on this one where
You
I'm
did. I'm
just a
pretty sure you
restring
did.
video. Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of
That's one you
cool.
took in on a trade.
I ended up buying a collection from a widow, and there were 69 guitars, and this was one of them.
Paul says he's in on the next Badlands guitar unless it's something wonky or pointy. I think there's going to be some very
Um,
pointy guitars in the future because they're going, they're going for that 80s thing. So,
they are,
I,
so they're all going to be like super strats. So the most I can say is I'm pretty sure it's going to be a super strat with a killer
of
paint
some
job.
kind. But
And
I think
guys
they'll end
are
up doing a V or something, some kind of V, not a Gibson V shape, but something they won't get sued
guys are
over.
complain. I've heard some guys complain $2,400, $2,500. Really? If you knew how much that paint job costs, guys are like, dude,
Yeah,
I can go have a guitar painted for like $300-400.
yeah.
But to
Well,
get the best painter in Southern California to paint your guitar, it's not $300 or $400. Okay,
exactly.
it's a lot more than that.
Well, they're just
And
trying to
so
they're
that,
trying to cover every single base on the guitar. So I think they looked at every single component and they said, "What's the best component that we can get?" Right?
yep, that's exactly it.
They decided to go, even though it's not made in the USA. They went Goto because they wanted the Goto bridge and the Goto tuners and the locking nut. And
Well, the
I think
day
they
that guitar comes in, when are you expecting it to show up?
I don't know a date yet, but I'm thinking within the next 2 to 4 weeks they'll start shipping them. And then, from what I've been told, there'll be another couple of weeks where they want everybody who's getting one of the first ones to uh, be happy with it before they move on, and then they'll release what the second model is going to be. And I've
Yeah, if they start getting some returns, they'll take care of that first before they launch.
before they move on, yeah. And then Phil
Yeah.
said that the next one, the GX2, I guess it's going to be, it will have 100 available instead of just 50, because they've had so many requests, especially from Japan of all places. People who found out about it after the fact, it's like, can I get in on that? And they're like, sorry, they're sold out, but they're working it out so that they can do overseas shipping on this next model, so that they can get them
Okay,
out
so
to
when
more
your
people. 'Cause
guitar comes in, message me and we'll do another little live stream. We can set and you can give me some first impressions on it.
that sounds like
You
a
up
good
for that?
idea. Yeah, up for that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it comes soon. I'm actually going to be leaving Florida for a week here in a couple of weeks, and with my luck, it's going to ship right when I'm out of town. So I may have to make some arrangements to get one of
Yeah,
my
because
neighbors to grab it for me or
your
something.
daughter's graduating or something,
Yeah,
huh?
I got
Your
a
daughter
daughter graduating
graduating?
from high school. Yeah, yeah, and then we didn't want to make her move, so her and my wife we got an apartment in Ohio right now that she's gonna keep when she goes to college up there, and so my wife and my daughter are right there for a couple more weeks until we get her graduated. So we couldn't bear to make our daughter move in
And
the
that'll
middle
be
of her
when it
senior
ships. You'll be
year.
up in Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll ship right when you're
So
up in Ohio.
yeah, so about two
Your
days before
neighbor
I'm
will
ready
end
to
up with
leave,
it.
it'll ship.
Yeah.
Somebody will steal it off my front
So you
porch.
got your next door neighbor advised
No, but
that
they're
there's going
all
to be a
cool.
guitar when I'm out of town?
Yeah, I'm in an old guy neighborhood. I'm probably the youngest guy in my neighborhood. There's nobody here that's gonna want that guitar, but they'd be nice enough to take it in for me,
Are you in
sign
a
for it or
gated
whatever.
senior
Yeah,
community?
I am. I'm in a 55 plus gated
That's okay,
community.
bro. That's
Hey
cool.
man, the reason we
So,
got here is it has a marina. So I live right on the Manatee River, which is between
uh-huh.
Bradenton and Palmetto. So I'm on the north side of it, and we have a marina, so we can have a boat and just launch our boat, and in 20 minutes I'm out to the islands and out the ocean and
So are
everything.
you
So
on the East Coast? I mean,
Yeah, I'm on the West
Florida. Are you
Coast.
down in the?
I'm
You're
at
on the
Tampa
West
Bay
Coast,
area.
so you're by Tampa.
Yeah,
I got it.
I'm
Oh,
on the
that was
south side of the bay of
the
Tampa
big
Bay.
hurricane hit there just a few years
It,
back.
well, was last year, right after I moved here, the hurricane that it hit south of us, it was Port Charlotte where it hit, thank God, and it tore Port Charlotte up pretty bad. It was supposed to come here, so I evacuated, and like a dummy, I drove into the center of the state and stayed in a town called Sebring. It's famous for a racetrack there, and the hurricane went right over Port Charlotte and blasted Sebring. It drove right into the path of the thing. I'd have been better off if I'd have just stayed home because it missed where I live. I mean, we had some wind, limbs and stuff down, and people lost shingles and stuff like that, but nothing like devastating damage.
Right.
So that was my first hurricane experience. I think if there's another one bearing down on me in the future, I'll just leave in the state. We'll just drive to Georgia.
Well, Ohio gets tornadoes occasionally.
Yeah, it's Tornado Alley there, so they get a lot in the springtime. This is perfect right now. It's tornado time. Yeah.
But hurricane season is in the summer when it's really warm.
Yeah, we got about 2 or 3 weeks before it's officially hurricane season, and then it runs basically all summer. Yeah, Paul's like, welcome to Florida, man. Hey, you know what? The great thing, it's not a great thing. The best thing about the hurricane is the dang thing's coming for like a week. So, I mean, it's not like in the middle of the night, those tornadoes that pop up at 3 a.m. and, it hits your house and you don't even know what you're asleep. So
that's true. They can see them coming and you can decide to jump in your car and drive out of there.
They're getting really good at predicting where they're going to go too, but up until like 2 days before it hit landfall, it was supposed to come straight. Basically, my house was a bullseye, but it turned at the last minute. And
how long of a drive is it to get up to like Atlanta? 6 hours.
Atlanta's 6 hours, yeah, but I could go to like Valdosta or something in 3. So I could get out of Florida if I had to. So, but everybody buys all the gas and all the water. Soon as there's a hurricane, as soon as it gets named, everybody goes crazy and buys all the water at the grocery stores and buys all. And we have a gas shortage because everybody goes and fills up their cars and their extra gas cans for their generators. And so there's like 4 or 5 days where there's no water and no gas because we have to wait for deliveries.
What about Key West? You go down to Key West and hit some.
I've been there before, but not since we've moved down here. No, but I wouldn't mind going back. Have you been there before?
I haven't, but
it's a party town.
When I was a kid, we went to Disney World when I was a kid. But other than that,
Key West is a lot of fun. I wouldn't want to go in the summer probably, but like spring or fall. But it's it's expensive because it's very touristy. It's very touristy in Key West. But some of the other keys, islands up and down the chain, are less expensive and not quite as party friendly, but nice if you want to go just hang out and be down on little tiny islands. It's like being.
So here's Tim. Tim Thomas is here now. A rumor is he bought himself a Badlands guitar.
Oh, he got one too. I got a buddy on here.
Tim, has it shipped out to you yet? Hey Pete, how you doing?
He got the GX1 too.
Rumor is, I'm not sure, but
cool.
Tim, if you got it, let us know in the chat. But so my buddy Pete just came in. How you doing, man?
Robert says his acoustic made it safe and sound. Oh, I saw you had Robert from Indianapolis on a couple weeks ago. Last time you had, what is it, Robert's Guitar Dungeon?
Oh, yeah, Guitar Dungeon. Yeah, I reached out. He came on.
Oh, he reached out to you. Okay, cool.
No, I reached out to him.
Oh, you reached out to him? I didn't. I wasn't when I used to live in Indianapolis. Okay. I wasn't playing guitar then because I didn't start playing guitars until I was like 50. So I didn't know that he existed.
Not shutting off. It will shut off temporarily.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
And it comes back
busted
on
pedal.
Okay.
in a few seconds.
Okay.
So it's weird.
Yeah.
Just wants to be on.
Yeah.
Just wants to be on all the
It wants to
time.
be on.
I'm with you, Tim. I'm waiting. I've got number 29. So I should have ordered earlier. I would have liked to have had a lower number, like number 3.
Yeah, they sold out in 72 hours. How can you order earlier?
Yeah,
That was pretty
you
quick.
really would have had to have ordered the first day. I don't even think it was a full 72 hours. It was like a Saturday. It was a part of a Friday, a Saturday, and on a Sunday they called it. So it went pretty fast.
Ordering Badlands guitars, Phil McKnight's, and the Tone King, and some guys.
Yeah, a couple of their buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the main guys is actually over in Europe, maybe even Eastern Europe. But he's a designer.
Yeah, one of the guys is going to run or is running the online portion of it when you order stuff, or the whole freaking the website and all that. So when you order something, the website's always perfect. It's always going to run perfect. They got a guy to do that. So yeah, it's
Hey, R2.
It's going to get big, and there's going to be stuff that that is going to surprise you guys when the news is all out.
Tim says he's number 49. So we're just 20 apart, which is about probably 15 minutes in ordering time. Everybody's like, click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Hey, man, they were like, they thought they might sell 10. They were flabbergasted that they sold 50 in 3 days, right? They had no idea what
I
was
created a
gonna happen.
banner. Wait till you see this.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I'm famous now.
Now that's high tech right there.
It is. I've been getting messages from StreamYard. It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to relearn StreamYard now. I got all these new features I don't know about.
Yeah.
So I see you've got an EVH guitar back there. What's your favorite guitar you have in the shop? It's probably in a case, huh?
Man, I hate when people ask me that, but no, I got a lot of pointy, shreddy things right now because I bought a big collection. So
Did you?
I've got like 3 or 4 Dave Mustaine Explorers. I've got 2 Dean Dimes, and I've got a couple of the Dean Michael Shankers. And I got a lot of that kind of stuff right now. Bought a big collection of stuff.
Some guy just came in with this whole collection and said, "What do you give me for all this?"
I got phone
like
calls.
an auction or something? You got phone calls?
I got a phone call from another collector. So he ended up buying like 150 guitars or something.
Wow.
But he wants to flip the vintage Gibsons and stuff, and so I took the Ibanez and the Deans and the shreddy things, and I got a lot of Jacksons. So I took those kind of things, and he's got he kept the American Fenders and all that kind of stuff. I'm presuming.
Yeah, but you have the kind of inventory that you're not going to see in most guitar stores, which is cool though. Because you're not going to go into a lot of mom and pop guitar shops and see a lot of Deans and pointy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a wall of like $100 guitars, is that right?
I do. I've got a hallway in the back of the store, going back to the back office and to the bathroom. I have like 35 guitars. They're all $100 a piece. Look at this. Brought to you by Swiss Picks.
There you go.
Pete from Swiss Picks is hanging out with me today.
I need to try those out. You selling those in your shop?
More inventory with you? I do. Yeah. If you guys call me, I'll send you some Swiss Picks.
Okay, cool. I'm always up for trying new picks. I've been using Gravity Pick lately, They're real thick and super. They're plexiglass more or less. But I like it because I feel accurate with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also get pick pop, especially if I use a compressor, it gets worse. You know what I mean by pick pop? So you can hear the pop of the pick through your. I'm trying to figure out how to dial that out because I really like the pick. They're not cheap. They're like $7 a piece.
Okay, I got to answer my phone, so I got to mute you for a second.
That's all right.
Big Bay or a Martin in the same price range?
I think I have a Taylor Big Baby here.
What is do you have a approximate price?
Not off the top of my head, I don't. I'd have to kind of look on Reverb and kind of see what they're going for. But I think a Taylor Big Baby is $350, something like that.
And then condition, I imagine, is between good and great.
I think it's real good condition. It's got the case with it.
Oh, cool. And then
yeah,
I also have potentially something for sale. I don't know if you guys can take it, but maybe.
What's that?
I have a Beretta Special, the candy blue, and then an LT25 Fender amp.
Well, I like the Beretta Special, but they're $199, so that's going to bring used. That's going to bring probably less than $100, so maybe $100.
If I'd love to work with you in the LT25. I know that's not going to be, much more, much less.
Yeah, anytime, bro. Bring them on in.
Are you busy in the next 30, 40 minutes? I could be there.
Yeah, come on in. That's fine. I'm kind of busy, but that's all right.
And what was your name? I'm sorry.
My name is Dane.
Dane, thank you so much, Dane.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye. So,
new customer coming in.
I don't know. It's always fun to buy those little. It's always fun to buy those little Beretta specials.
Do they sell pretty fast? Do you flip them pretty
No,
fast?
they don't.
No,
not usually.
Just get a whole wall of Beretta specials.
Yeah.
This is my Beretta collection. I've got one in every color.
But it's kind of the same with the BC Riches. I always have all these old BC Rich Warlocks laying around, and these things were only $149 brand new 20 years ago. But I've been able to get rid of like 3 of those recently.
Well, you're doing you're modifying some of them, putting like cool paint jobs on them and stuff. I mean,
let me show you a paint job that I had done.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, it's Crackle. I saw that on your channel the other day. That's incredible. Man, he did a really good job. Holy crap.
He did a really good job, but the paint's kind of soft.
Oh, it?
I
the
could
clear coat?
I could probably take my thumb and just put a big scratch in it.
Oh,
yeah,
the clear coat didn't harden all the way.
Sticky, so
is it
tacky? He didn't use quite enough hardener, I think. And but it's a fun guitar, and I'm just
I don't know if there's any way to
dry.
even fix that because you can't really sand it.
No, there's nothing I can do. I'm hoping that if I did dry and just I have it sitting back here.
Yeah.
I'm just leaving it alone, and hopefully it'll dry up some.
Eventually it'll harden up, maybe. All the moisture will evaporate out of the solution. But yeah, that's cool.
Might take 5 years. Yeah.
It might take 5 years. Well, maybe you'll sell it before then. Yeah, but that's cool. Is that the first Crackle one you've had done, or has he done some others for you?
No, he's done a few. And if you guys look through my channel, it's called From Garbage to Glitter, because I'd like taking a garbage guitar and putting a ton of glitter, and we've kind of gotten away from the glitter where we're doing more crackles and stuff. But I just kind of let him take over. I can't really say, hey, I want this one to yellow strap and the crackle up here and glitter down here. I just got to
You
let
just
him
let
do
him
his
do
own
it?
thing, and they kind of turn out the way
That's
they
cool.
turn out. Yeah,
There you go.
but it's something fun.
Johnny
to do.
Heartbreaker says your James Bond Mockingbird is the best. You've got a 007 Mockingbird, or is that somebody else's?
Yeah,
he's talking
it's
about?
but the body on it is kind of thin. So I think what it is, it actually has a BC Rich neck from 1986. So it has a real
Oh
80s
wow.
BC Rich neck, but the body is kind of thin, and it's got a James Bond kind of shoot, where he's in the holding the gun or whatever. And that was
The
kind of cool.
rifling.
But I think that the actual body was from K Garage out of Japan. They cloned BC Riches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I
And then
think
he
it's a
painted
K
it up for
Garage
you.
body. Yeah.
Cool. That just makes it even more cool. I'm surprised a James Bond fan hadn't bought it just to put in their James Bond room. Hang it as memorabilia.
Janice is asking, 40 Grit showed up. So I was at Johnny Bean's show Tuesday night.
Oh, were you?
And this guy named 40 Grit's like, dude, I'm going to come in and buy a white EVH Frankie. Okay, see over there, there's Pete, but he's standing right in front of it.
Yeah.
There's a white EVH Frankie behind there, and he did. So 40 Grit came in, and he picked the best one out of the two Frankies that I have. Well, they're not the Frankies because that's the Relic. They're the Stripe series. I got two of the ones in red, and I had two of the ones in white. He took the best one out of the white, but I actually he traded in the 5150 Iconic amp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got one of those 5150 Iconics now. I can mess around with that for the next couple of weeks or however long until it sells.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah, because of that trade, and I feel like I did really good. And I have something that's fun to play around with for the next however long until it sells,
Yeah, I can't beat that. I
Yeah,
had
I
one
can
of
do
the Stripe
videos with
series.
an
I had the
Iconic.
Bumblebee, the black and yellow one, which was cool, but I kind of got a little bit tired of looking at it after a while. It's a little bright.
Yeah.
For my collection. But I had a Wolfgang, though, I should have kept. I had a Wolfgang that I let go, and it was a purple Wolfgang, metal flake purple. It was really nice. I should have kept that guitar.
Yeah, and the prices are just going up on those, so
I know.
You won't be able to get it back.
Man, I could have had one of the EVH guitars with the circles. You know, the one that's got like the crop. I call it crop circles. I don't know.
I know. I bought
You know
one
which one
from
I'm talking about?
McKnight. Phil McKnight sold me one for
Yeah.
like $400 or something.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
so
I
you
should've
can't
kept
get them
that
for
thing.
$400 now. I walked into a GC and they had one in there, and this was in Columbus, the one in Columbus, Ohio, and they had one in there, and they had it fairly reasonable. And I wasn't shopping there to buy a guitar that day, but I was like, man, I should buy this. It did not last long. I should have snagged it because it's one of the rarer ones. The crop circle guitar. Do you sell yours pretty quick?
I sold it to Neanderthal.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. As soon as he saw it, he's like, I want that.
Okay.
I'm surprised Phil sold it.
Phil sent me a text. I haven't seen Phil in a couple of months. He's a super busy guy, but he did send me a text.
Stuff piled up. He has to break in.
He sent me a text of a bunch of stuff that he has for sale, and I said, I'll take all the pedals. But I told him I don't want the Parker Nightfly. I'm like, I don't want that thing. I can't sell that thing. So, I hope I didn't offend him, but he was trying to sell me his Parker Nightfly. And I was like,
yeah, he's got more than one Parker. That's probably his least expensive one, I expect. So this last week, Friday,
well,
you know what?
His latest video was for some weird guitar that's a $350 guitar. Did you see his video from yesterday? Mm-hmm. Those are the kind of ones that end up eventually coming in here. But again, I haven't seen Phil in probably 2 months now.
Yeah.
So he's just a busy guy.
He waits till he's got a truckload. He'll bring you a truckload.
He does. And there's other outlets that he can get rid of gear. He doesn't just,
Oh, sure.
you know, I don't get
Every now and
everything.
then
He's got all his
I've got his
Patreons and
reverb.
everything. I'm sure guys are asking him all the time, hey, this and that.
Oh, yeah.
What about that?
I've got his
You still
reverb
got
page.
that?
He's
So,
bookmarked. So
yeah.
every so often he puts stuff on reverb.
Yeah,
But
it
just
depends
like
on what mood
everybody
he's
else,
in. Yeah.
You can't.
Or his
it's
wife
a-
helps him. His wife helps
Yeah.
him. So it kind of depends on what mood they're in. You want to just dump this at ZIMM'S, or should we put this on reverb and, you know, half the time this and half the time that, you know?
Right. He had 2 new guitars this last Friday. He's got a Gibson Firebird and a Rickenbacker 12-string
Yeah.
that he's going to do videos on.
The Nuno N4 that hangs on his walls behind his most
Yeah.
recent video,
He's got 2 of them.
sold that one to him.
Oh, did you? The green one
I
or the
traded
natural
him
body?
stuff. Yeah, it's
green
the
one or
N4
the-
natural. Yeah. I did a
Yeah,
trade. I ended up with that thing, and then he saw it in here, and then about 2-3 weeks later, hey bro, would you how about this and that and this other thing, and I get that Nuno. I'm, okay.
Sweet. Was it the natural body one or the green one? Because I think he's got 2.
Natural body.
Natural body.
That green one that is aqua dipped, he's had that thing for probably
long time.
8 years or something. He's had that thing a long time.
As long as he's had the channel, because it's in some like original videos on his channel.
No, that's one of his old ones that he'll never give up, I don't think.
No, he likes.
But you know what? Around Christmas time, it's kind of a funny story. I'm always telling Phil the last 3 or 4 years, one of my hobbies at night is to just go ride my bicycle around. You know, I get on my bicycle in the evening when you're in Phoenix and it's 100 degrees outside. At about 8, 9 o'clock at night, you go out for a bike ride when it's dark out. Yeah. So he's like, hey man, I finally bought a bicycle. This is a year or 2 ago. We bought some bicycles, man. You're right. It's kind of fun to go cruise around on bikes. Yeah. So around Christmas time here, so 5 months ago, he came into the store one day and he's pushing this electric bike, one of those e-bikes. They're like $1,200 or something, pedal assist. Yeah. Right, so you have to pedal for it to assist you. If you're coasting, it'll just coast. But he rolled in this pedal assist bike and he was like, man, isn't this thing cool? Like, yeah, that's cool. So I'm riding it around in the parking lot out front here. And I'm like, yeah, this thing's really cool. Then after about 15 minutes, half an hour, he goes, hey man, remember how I sold you that Road Flare Red Ibanez RG 550? And I'm like, yeah, it's sitting over here in the corner still. He's like, can I have that guitar back? And you can have this
to buy it back.
Yeah, and he goes, and you can have this bicycle. I'm like, sure, man, that's awesome, thank you.
He traded you the bike for the guitar?
Yeah, so now I have this really fun pedal assist bicycle. You can, I usually used to ride around and pedal around. If I did 4 miles or so, or that was kind of a long ride, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of feel the burn. 5, 6, that's a long ride. On this pedal assist thing, I could go 10 or 12 miles and not work a sweat. So it's not really exercise anymore. But
help you go up the hills.
Oh, dude, it's got a little throttle button that you can hit with your thumb on the left side and right up the hill. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. See, that's what I'd want it for, going up the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and I are thinking about getting some of those bikes.
Was to just get some cardiovascular going and just stay healthy and all that kind of stuff.
Keep you thin. And ZIMM'S bicycle.
Man,
you need a.
That's kind of out the door now.
Robot Master Switch says you need a bicycle live stream. You need a GoPro on your helmet.
That's
or
such
on your
a good
handlebars
idea. That's such a good idea.
You could have one pointing forward and one pointing at you, and then you could do GoPro videos. Says there's no hills in Florida, man. Yeah, you're right. It's pretty flat here.
There's no hills in Phoenix either. There's no hills in Phoenix.
Well, you got some mountains outside the city, don't you? A ways
we
off
do. We got
in the
mountains.
distance.
There's Camelback Mountain, and then there's the Superstition Mountains and stuff. And
yeah. So, has Dave been in your store recently? My buddy Dave. Your buddy, our buddy Dave.
6 months ago, probably.
Yeah. He's
But he
been
told
having
me
some
about
back
his
problems.
new job at Barrett Jackson and stuff.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
he
it wasn't
likes
that
it.
long ago, but he used to come in on Sundays a lot,
Yeah.
and we'd sit and watch the Cardinals because I got a TV
Oh, yeah.
in the back room, and so Sundays I come in here just to get out of my house and watch football.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
I have that to look forward to coming up here in August and September. Football
Yeah,
season
me too.
started.
I'm ready
Too
for
bad that
football
my
season.
team really sucks, but other
Well,
than
so does
that,
mine,
I'm still.
but we drafted that big
I see you
monster
post
out
a
of
lot of
Florida.
stuff about the. I see you always are posting on Facebook about the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, the Colts are my team, and the Indiana
Okay.
Hoosiers basketball, college basketball.
Okay.
Those are the. I'll watch a baseball game on TV or a hockey game. I'll go to a baseball game or a hockey game once or twice a year or something, but I don't
Yeah.
watch all those games on TV.
What about
I like to watch the
Tampa
IndyCar
Bay,
racing.
the Rays? Yeah, I've been over to see the Tampa Bay Rays.
I haven't
play
been
yet?
to see them yet, but they're on fire. They started off the season like 11-0 or something. But I know where their
Wow.
stadium's at, but I have never been to a game there. So
How's the
we went to the
Diamondbacks
IndyCar
doing? Have
race.
you been able? I live here. I haven't really been following, but how the Diamondbacks doing? Or
I
some
have
guys
no
around
idea.
here call them the D-bags.
The D-bags. I have no
The
idea how they're doing.
D-bags.
No, like I said, I don't really start following baseball.
What about the
close until
Suns? How's the
playoffs.
Phoenix? What about the Phoenix Suns? Are they still in the playoffs?
I have no idea.
I know.
I do not. I love basketball, but I don't like the NBA for some reason. I just don't like the style of play, so I don't watch it. So it's just not my game, not the way I like the game played. So let's see what we got. We got the Orlando Magic down here, and we have the Miami Heat. So we do have two NBA teams here.
Orlando.
And of course, Tampa's got the
Yeah,
Buccaneers. They just had
The
Tom
Miami
Brady for a
Heat
few-
was pretty big with the old LeBron thing when he moved down there and all that. That was good.
Yeah, they had
drama.
Dwayne Wade too, and Orlando had Shaquille
Right.
O'Neal. That's about all I can tell you.
That's
about
right.
those teams.
Good Florida basketball. That was a good 10, 15 years ago now, though, huh?
Oh yeah, because I think Shaq ended up with the Lakers maybe when he retired. I think he was with the Lakers
Yeah.
then. So, there's a lot of rock stars live down here.
All right,
Miami.
Brian.
Perry.
So let's wrap up here a little bit.
Okay.
So when the Badlands guitar comes in,
Yeah.
text me,
Okay.
Facebook message me or whatever, and we'll do this again so we can
Take a
see them
closer
fly.
look.
There's a little fruit fly flying around.
Oh, I hate
But we'll
this.
do it again, and yeah, I want to see thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get my hands on it. So hopefully not a whole lot longer. But I'd rather them just take their time and have it be super, super nice than try to rush them. You know, which they're not going to do. I think they want to make them all
and
as
they wouldn't let you,
close to
even if you
perfect as
did
they
call
can.
them every day. Hey man, how's number 29 doing? You guys painted
Yeah.
it yet? They call them every
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
did you get the pickups in that one yet? What about the
Right,
neck?
right.
Have you set the neck?
Yeah.
Did you put a ship in the neck?
I bet they're getting pestered. You know somebody's pestered. I've ordered guitars and waited on them before. It's not the easiest thing to do. You know, it takes 6 months or longer. And I know some people that have waited almost 2 years to get like a PRS that they ordered. God, 2 years, man! I changed my mind. Want something different by then.
I don't know. How,
I flip them
don't
too
know how they
fast
can
to
do
wait
that.
2 years.
I know. I know.
Well, thanks for having me on, man.
I'm really
I appreciate
lucky
it.
to- Hey, you are
We'll
welcome.
come back next time I'm down in your neck of the woods. Well, I'd like to see the new shop, so I'll get my buddies and we'll all come in
Yeah,
there.
we'll go have a
raid the
steak or
place.
something. We'll get a hold
Yeah,
of
we can do that again,
Petros,
too.
We'll
That
get a
was
hold
fun.
of Phil. We'll try to get all these guys to get rounded up.
Absolutely.
I had
Sounds
Larry
like a
Mitchell
plan.
in the store 2 weeks ago.
I know you
That
did,
was
man.
kinda
That's
fun.
great. I actually watched part of the live stream while they was in there.
Okay.
After Phil, because I was on with
Yeah,
Phil
I
on
got,
his channel.
That live stream got demonetized.
I
As he was
did?
playing his
No
own
way.
song. That's okay.
No way.
So
I can't believe it got demonetized.
Larry's publisher, whoever owns the publishing rights to those songs, they decided to keep since that live stream.
How can they demonetize the artist playing his own freaking songs?
He probably doesn't own the publishing rights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he doesn't own the publishing rights. His record company grabbed that shit up.
Wow. Larry demonetized himself.
But that's yeah.
Man, YouTube.
Larry has great stories about Ibanez. Larry has
it's a Google world. We're just living in it.
Ibanez.
Yo, I bet. Yeah. Let's see. Does
He
Larry play at Nags?
was an Ibanez.
Larry's got a Nag. He plays Nags too, doesn't he?
No, he plays Nags now, but he was an Ibanez sponsored guitarist for 26 years, and he went through 4 different models. He went through 4 different models. Where first he started with the S series, like the Saber series one, and
those thin ones. Larry Mitchell I actually like those.
Yeah, and then after 5 years or something, they're like, Larry, your model's not really doing so good, so we're going to change you over to this model. And he's like, okay, I'll give it a try. In 26 years with Ibanez, he went through 4 different models, and they kept trying to find the one that would really grab on, and people are like, dude, the Larry Mitchell model. So instead of just letting him go as a sponsored artist, signature model artist, they would say, hey, let's try this model, see if this one will catch on. So yeah, he was making jokes that he killed 4 different models.
He killed 4 different Ibanez.
Yeah, he said, I'm this killer, man. I killed 4 different models. I wonder if he played
those, the Ibanez have such thin necks that I have issues with.
He's got big, monstrous hands.
I know. I wonder if he played those thin necks or if they were making...
His thumb's not behind his guitar when he plays. His thumb
is over the top,
he's got this great big thumb that's way over the top, and he has such a really nice, carefree, fluid.
I met him in Nashville. He's a super nice man. Super, super nice man. And yeah, he does have big hands. He could be an NFL receiver with those hands. For sure.
And he was selling some merch, but I actually got the Larry Mitchell yo-yo from the Yo-Yo Factory. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
I got a Larry Mitchell yo-yo.
Sweet. Well, that was cool that he came in your shop. Does he live down there in that area, or is he just passing through doing a show?
He was passing through.
Gotcha. Perfect. Hey, man, you got to play at the Whiskey not too long ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was that?
And well, I've got to play at the Whiskey a bunch of times, but our last time we played at the Whiskey. So yeah, in about the last 6 months. Well, last November we opened up for Stryper, and that was freaking epic. And then in December we opened up for Stephen Piercy, and that was freaking epic. Sold out show on a Friday night, and we went on right before Stephen Piercy. And then this last show was with Faster Pussycat. But you know what? We're still doing the editing. But me and my son and these girls that I know and my lead singer and my guitar player, we all took videos. And so I'm compiling all the video footage from that whole 3-day weekend, because we had the NAMM show. Yeah, Whiskey Dog. We had the NAMM. No, we had Faster Pussycat show Friday night. We had the NAMM show Saturday, and then we played at the Rainbow Backyard Barbecue, the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunday. So we put this weekend together. I'm compiling all this footage, and I'm going to try to make like a monstrous long video that's almost like a movie. It's going to be, there's going to be so much. So, I don't know.
A docudrama. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you got to publish that.
I can, so I'm going.
That'll be fun. Cool. So what's it like backstage at the Whiskey? Is it all like grimy and nostalgic?
Yes.
What's the green room at the Whiskey like? Like a little tiny room?
Yeah, there's actually 2 of them. There's actually 3 green rooms up there. One that is for the headliner, And then they got 2 smaller rooms. They're painted flat black, and there's a couch, and
I wondered if they
everybody
had,
writes
like,
on
if
the
there was
wall.
signatures all over everything. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
maybe written all over the walls.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Not too many people. I mean, there's a limited number of people that have been in there, so you're one of them. That's cool.
It's really weird when you think about. There's a staircase that takes you from the stage up to the 2nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about the people that have walked up and down or ran up and down those staircases,
Everybody.
Yeah, the Doors were the house band in 1904. In the 70s,
crazy.
you had all the Eagles and the whole Laurel Canyon scene and everything that happened in the 70s with Jackson Browne and everybody.
Right.
And all that stuff. And then, of course, the late 70s was the whole Van Halen scene and all that stuff that happened. And then in the 80s, of course, it was Rat and Motley, and all those guys played there.
All those guys.
The amount of times that Eddie Van Halen ran up and down those steps, it just blows my mind when I'm standing on that stage.
Yeah, being on the same stage with all those other greats that have played there. And I mean, and they go back there too. That's cool. I mean, there's a Motley video where they're going to play the Whiskey. I can't remember.
Yeah,
what it is. It's off the. It's
a
one
lot
of the
of
songs
bands
off Dr.
still.
Feelgood, because Sam Kinnison's driving the limousine that they're in, and they pull up in front of the Whiskey and they go in. And I can't remember what song it is though, but yeah, I remember the video.
Oh, yeah.
At least the visuals.
Blackjack Guitar, you're right. Charles Green was a bouncer Whiskey Go back in the 80s, and he's on Fruitcake Tony's channel. But Charles has so many stories about Wasp and Motley and the Van Halen brothers, and they all get in fights and all this. He's got in-depth, real stories about when he was a bouncer there trying to kick drunk girls out of the bar and stuff. Yeah, Charles
drunk girls out of the bar.
The Whiskey. Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, I was watching a show about the Rainbow. The Rainbow, the guys that run the Rainbow had the dad, the old man, had previously worked at the Whiskey. Yeah, which was cool. I never knew that. Yeah.
Well, now the family
is it the Rainbow that has the? It's the Rainbow that's got like the Hollywood Vampire Social Club up above, where only rock stars can go in the little room up at the top. Is that where? Is that right?
The Rainbow Room is a restaurant. Yeah, it's a restaurant. Yeah. And it's not like a live music venue, although it's right next door to the Roxy, which is a live music venue.
Yeah, so people go in there after the shows and hang.
Yeah, and there's a little parking lot behind the Roxy. There's an alley and like a patio. The Rainbow Room has a patio, an outdoor patio. And there's an alley and their backyard patio, and then there's like a little tiny parking lot, and that's where they can set a stage up. They roll this giant semi-trailer bed in, and they back it in there, and that whole unfolds and lifts up, and canopies fall forward.
Oh wow!
And Jeff Tate was the headliner that night. Yeah, so I've got to do that. I got to be on that stage at the Rainbow twice. And one night, Steel Panther was the headliner, and then this last show that we played, Jeff Tate was the headliner.
Oh, cool!
But it's like an all-day event, and the first time I played there, we were the 1:20 time slot.
In the afternoon.
Now the second time in the afternoon, we were the first band of the day. Now, this other show that we just played there last month, we were the second band in the afternoon. So our time slots are getting a little bit.
So you're moving up. So eventually, in a couple of years, you'll be after dark. Right?
But so many classic bands like the Zeros, bands like, there were so many classic bands that get those time slots. They're all flipping my mind right now, but just old, cool, Pretty Boy Floyd type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That hair metal, the bands that were good in hair metal, and everybody knew who they were. They maybe didn't have a huge hit song, but that kind of stuff. Again, Pretty Boy Floyd, stuff like Enough's Enough, all that kind of stuff. Those guys are still around, still doing that.
Cool.
All right, Brian, let's wrap.
All right. I'll let
Thank
you
you
go, man.
so
That was a good
much,
hour.
man.
Thanks for having me on. It was
you
fun.
guys,
We'll do it
everybody,
again.
thanks for watching. We'll do it again. Thank you, guys. See you next
Thanks
time.
a lot. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye-bye.